Greetings today from Cave Creek, Arizona. I wanted to do a quick first ride report on my brand new Brooks Team Professional while it was still fresh on my mind. As you can see, I'm a little bit of an outside of the box guy. I have a BH Prisma, a couple years old, really enjoy the frame, and I don't know that it's outside of the box when you buy a saddle from a company that's been making them since the late 1800s. But first thing you notice is everything you hear about is how beautiful this thing looks right out of the box. And I will admit, growing up in Texas around a lot of leather and boots, and I've got a pretty high standard when it comes to leather, and this thing is just absolutely beautiful. I probably would have gone with the honey colored just because I love that natural look, but as you can see, that wouldn't really go with the bike at all. Just to let you know what I was riding, what I'm mainly comparing this thing to is the SQ Lab 661 Active, and I've got about probably 2,000 to 2,500 miles on this saddle, and it still looks like new. But this thing was professionally measured to my sit bones, and obviously I just wasn't that happy with it. As you can see, if you're familiar with this brand, I've got the white insert, which is the softest of the three inserts. I started off with the medium, just wasn't that comfortable, and I went to the white, and clearly still was not my favorite. So I thought I'd try the Brooks. This is a 14, as you can see, SQ Lab. If you set it down, I was worried that it was, once you get your sit bones measured, anything else you sort of worry about it being wide enough, but that's not the case. This thing is almost the exact same width. So if you're worried about how wide this Team Pro is, it's about 14. If you measure your own sit bones and come up with that number. I also went with the slit. I ordered one without, and then it took a few days to ship, and as I thought about it a little bit more, I thought, why the heck not? If it was a big problem, Brooks would have stopped making them. So the only problem that I had on today's ride, which was about 20 miles, went through downtown Cave Creek, which is really rough to do in the afternoon because there's just a ton of places making hamburgers, people watching football games and drinking beer, and you just kind of want to stop. But back to my point, the only problem that I had a little bit today that I felt really was the bias on the hole seems to be up a little bit, and I'm thinking about maybe putting the butt end of a screwdriver in there, but as I look at how wide it is, I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I might just give it a couple more rides and see if this thing might just bias itself to where it bends down. I'm sure it will. But I'll have to say, if this is as bad as it gets, I am extremely happy with this saddle. I don't particularly use the drop bars that often because frankly it just hurts too bad after about 5 or 10 minutes on the drop bars. It hurts my rear end too bad. Today I was probably twice as long as I've ever been on the drop bars, and no real pain on the saddle. I do think it's true what people say is it's a little bit slippery to start with, especially maybe the first 10 to 20 minutes, but after that it really didn't bother me very much. And I'll have to say, some people say that the Team Pro is thicker and will take longer to break in. But if that is the worst ride that I'm ever going to be on this thing, I'm telling you, I am tickled pink with this saddle. I found it to be very comfortable. My sit bones were on the seat. There was plenty of room back there. I did not feel the rivets. Now, I will say this. I went out and bought and got my 3 brands of shorts. I've got my Pactimos on, and they are probably the thickest, most cushiony shorts that I have. I also have some Pearl Izumis and some Lululemon shorts, and those are a little bit more sleek, a little bit more race designed than these are, but I wanted to give myself the best shot. Again, I'm really pleased with this thing, and to let you know what I come from, I'm an old mountain bike guy. So a Niner Rip is my bike that I've been riding for a long time. I'm just a recent convert over to the road about 2 or 3 years ago, and I've always used the WTB Rocket 5, and it's much narrower, as you can see, than what I'm used to on my road bike. But I've never had problems with the Rocket. I think it's just a great seat. I wouldn't change it for anything. As you can see, it's got a ton of miles and a lot of dirt on it. But I wouldn't change it at all. I think it's great. So that's it for the first ride report. I look forward to doing one maybe 1,000 miles in, or maybe when the thing finally breaks in, I'll let you guys know what I think. The only other thing that people mention that this thing doesn't have is bars to hold your some little rivets, some brackets right here. But who the heck needs them? Just to let you know too that I went for the professional because I was worried that, to me, anything that says touring I stay away from, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm not out to carry a bunch of bags of crap with me. As you can see, what you see is about all I carry, and that's a water bottle or two. I'm just an old guy, about 45 years old, weigh 180. I'm 5'11", just so you know that. And I ride every weekend and once during the week just to try to stay fit. So I don't care that my saddle weighs 0.3 pounds more than it used to. It's not a big deal for me. I'm all about comfort. I'd rather be comfortable in the seat for 30 miles than anything else. But if you're thinking about a Brooks Team Pro and you're worried about anything I was worried about, man, hit me up with a question down below. I say jump in. This thing is going to be very much to your liking, and look forward to many more miles in this saddle.